Alright, I think we are ready to rock and roll, everyone. Let's give a moment for everybody to get on here. If anybody's coming on, it's alright. It's just after the fact, don't worry. Audio's good, video's good. Probably need to close some tabs. So first and foremost, I want to welcome you to my channel. Welcome to the Opti-Mystic M, wherever you are on planet Earth. I'm your host, Michaud, and today I present to you a new segment. I've actually been going over what to actually call this. I originally was going to call it the day in the life of ... whatever, whatever. I decided, and I was driving, I was like, why don't I just call it M's Portfolio Life? If you guys aren't familiar with the term portfolio life, hey, Mr. Cool, how's it? If you guys aren't familiar with that term, I highly suggest you get this book called The Art of Work. Not The Art of Work. That's a good book too, actually, but The Art of Work. It's by Jeff Goins, and predominantly it's about finding your true calling through whatever you do in your life, your vocation, your desire, your passion. And it's one of the best books I've read up to this point. Anyways, in one of the chapters, the author, he talks about the portfolio life or lifestyle, basically. And oh my goodness, what's going on? My internet health is low. What the Hades? I gotta close some stuff down, I think. Too much stuff going on here. Hate when this happens. It was good, and it was green, and now it's just like red. Holy cow. Force quit that. I think my computer's just slow right now. I got too much stuff going on. And that's it's slowing everything down, literally. That should free up some memory. It's still stuttering. This is what happens. I should have restarted everything. Clear the cache, everything. Oh man, I hate this. I usually do. I usually start over and then I'll just do the stream, but it's, oh man. One second, guys. 1 second. I got way too much stuff going right now. I gotta close it down. Some stuff. It might help. Just tads. I don't know if I'm good or not. Am I good? Can you hear me? Can you see me? What's going on? Got 2 people watching. I hate this. It looks like crap. I don't know what it looks like right now on everybody else's side, but it looks okay. Maybe it's just like a low red. Anyways, to continue, I don't want to drag this out too long, but because I am hungry. But I want to thank everyone for coming actually and tuning in, as always. If you guys aren't familiar with the portfolio life, it actually, basically, most people believe that they are this or that. For example, most people believe that, oh, I do this job, this is me, this is what I do. What the portfolio life defines is basically people have they have multiple roles they play in life, multiple things they do that make up who they are and are actually a part of them. Not to say that that's what they are, but that's just the things that are a part of them. So, as part of what I do in life, as my portfolio life, I am a Navy reservist. And I have been since 2011. So, just to give you a little bit of background of how that came to be, I forgot my life updates, but oh well. This is kind of like a major life update. Dude, I'm writing a book about friendships. I gotta tell me about that. So basically, I got, well, as depending on how far back I go, I joined the Navy active duty side once upon a time. And I did 4 years of that. After my 4 years was done, I decided I wanted to get out. Contract ended, expired, done. It was always on the back of my head to get into the Navy Reserve, for one. And so 6 months after being out of anything, I took 6 months away from the military altogether. And I was on what they call IRR, basically inactive. What was it? Inactive something reserve. Basically, I still had time on the clock after my active duty time was over. And if something were to happen, say some great event, I could still be called back. Fortunately, that never happened. But I decided, hey, why not get paid to be a reservist? So I just joined the Navy Reserves. And that's how that started. Ever since 2011, I have been with a total of 2 units. The first one was more of like theater, ASW. First of all, let me give you a disclaimer. I speak for myself. I don't speak for the military, Navy, or anything like that. So if you're curious, I'm just stating my opinions, my experience, my facts, and of course, I'm not giving anything that's secret or classified. So, anyway, now that is out the way, I worked with my first unit being, well, it doesn't matter the name, but I worked in Pearl Harbor, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and first unit I did mostly what they call anti-submarine warfare. And I did that for, well, up until last year, and then I changed units. Basically, what annual training is, as a part of the reserves or even the National Guard, is you do 2 weeks at the very least per year. And of course, your drill, so that's, we call it drill, but it's basically your 2 days a month over the weekend. And usually there's 4 periods, 4 periods of 4 hours apiece, which makes up 8 hours a day, which is 2 days per month. And then you have your 2 weeks of annual training. That's the least you can do, but there's a lot more that is available and available for anybody to do if they join National Guard or any type of reserve military force. So now I'm basically talking about my annual training, which is quite fun in a way. In a weird way, it's fun because I like learning. I like learning to do new things. Basically, kind of going back again, I was a sonar tech. I worked with sonar on a surface ship. I did that. And when I came to the reserves, I had to cross-rate to an electrician's mate, they call it. You can look that up on Wikipedia, just find out exactly. I mean, it speaks for itself. Electrician's mate. Basically, someone who works with electricity or electrician on the ship, or whatever their command is. Could be shore, submarines, whatever. So, up until last year, I've never actually worked in my rate. I've done sonar, which is a part of anti-warfare, which is interesting still, because it's what On the reserve side, you deal more with like the bigger picture. When I was active, I dealt more what was like around the ship, basically. Just give you a very brief outline of what my job was. So up until last year, I dealt with that, and I actually was an electrician's mate for at least 3 years. I was taking the test 3 years, and then now I'm up for first. So first class petty officer, if you're curious. I am currently in E5. About two friends who met as kids, fathers grow up. The story talks trials, friendship, go through in life, how people stay as friends and others leave. That sounds pretty interesting. How far are you? You started, or you have like an outline? So basically, you guys gotta join the live chat if you want to know what I'm talking about. Mr. Cool is one of my friends online, and he's talking about a book he's writing. So you gotta join the live chat directly in YouTube to see what's going on there. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to message me any other means that I am connected. Oh, good. My stream health is yellow again. This is awesome. So basically, I've been working as a sonar tech, or I was more of an operator. I did various jobs and duties. I learned how to do various things, qualified to do various jobs and roles, stood on watches and everything like that in my past annual trainings. This time around, I actually got to do something in my rate or job for any civilians out there. That's what we call rates, or jobs, our rates. So this is the very first, because I switched units. So I switched units, and now I'm actually with a unit where I actually do what my rate or job is, and that's being electricians. Of course, not knowing much about it and just taking a test, it's not enough, right? Annual training gives one the opportunity to actually do what it is in the rate, or in a lot of ways gives you the opportunity to do much of anything that's available. Basically, if you don't know anything about the reservist, we pretty much help out the active duty component. So whatever that may be, the National Guard, they help out the Army. Sometimes, a lot of times, we help out the active duty Navy, and we just provide operational support, basically. Briefly explain what that is. This year, it's quite interesting. So I gotta talk about week one of this my annual training this year, which my friend actually referred to as summer camp. So I was like, well, in a lot of ways, it is kind of like summer camp. So, in lieu of actually working my regular job, because I have annual training, which is like a military requirement, I don't have to work at my regular job for 2 weeks. And so it's kind of like almost like a vacation. If you watch my last couple videos, you might figure out that I'm not exactly happy with my current job, but just stuff that's going on. Anyways, so it is kind of like summer camp. We have like this very first day. Woke up hella early, pretty much. I think I had to wake up 4:30 in the morning. Anyways, first day we had training, orientation, stuff, basically to. I'm having a brain fart. Basically to get oriented of what's going on for the next 2 weeks. And especially for me or anybody that's new. I mean, I've never been in the shipyard, like working as like a shipyard personnel, so I didn't know much about it. I just knew that the shipyard supports the force that's on the sea. And kudos, by the way, anybody that works shipyard. You guys do great work. Keep it up. So basically, for the next 2 weeks, I get to work as a part of the shipyard, which is kind of cool because I get to do a lot of things that I've never done before, see a lot of things I never saw before. and was learn. I'm learning about my rate, my job, and I'm kind of jumping around a little bit because I'm just like the thoughts are just coming, they're flooding in here. They're just flooding right now. Nice, man. Keep it up. So you got the outline, currently the first few chapters. It's a good start. So mainly day one was sitting there for about nearly 8 hours, just talking about what's going to happen for the next 2 weeks, plus the different training, like electrical safety, all that stuff, which is important. There actually was a lot of things that are relevant to what I'm doing, because it's not just me that's sitting in there by myself. So it's like a bunch of other people that are actually other people doing annual training. So then that leads me to my next point. Being that annual training can actually occur anywhere, I decided, well, I didn't really have much of a choice. I decided to do my, I'm going to call it AT for now. Annual training is just too long to say over and over, so I'm going to say AT. So my AT, this time I had to do, basically had to do it locally, which is fine. I'm here. The only downside is you don't get per diem. You don't get paid to eat. That has to come out of pocket, which I'm kind of curious about. I have to double check that, because I don't have the opportunity to go to the galley to eat, so figure that out later. Anyways, so I just jumping around. So day two, oh yeah, I'm skipping around again. So being you get to go to different locations, and then with those locations you get to meet various people. And I've met over the years various people from California, actually all over the states, and made some acquaintances here and there, even some friends. And I think one of the best parts of AT is actually you have the opportunity to do that. And this time even more so than ever is we have he's pretty much like the coordinator for the AT coordinator. He sets everything up, and he's coordinated like these Mando Fun events. We call it Mando Fun because it's like mandatory fun. But regardless of what it's called, it's actually pretty cool. And aside from that, well, let me talk about the events for a second. So the very first event was, I have a brain fart. So the very first event was Arizona Memorial private tour. Now, I've never actually been to the Arizona Memorial. It's my first time, and you probably say, well, you're crazy, man. You've been there for like 10 years. You've never been to the Arizona Memorial? Yeah. I'm one of those guys. Not just not wanting to go. I've always wanted to go. I just never went. And you can probably say the same thing about if you live somewhere and you just kind of take it for granted, like, oh, I could have went to that store. It's there, but you never went for whatever reason. It's there because you can always just go, right? That's the same thing. I could always went, and I decided, because the coordinator set this up to go on a private tour. Now you gotta listen to private tours. Most people, tourists, all that stuff, they don't go on this tour. Their tour is pretty much short, sweet. They go straight to the Arizona Memorial, and that's it. We actually talked about the USS Nevada, new USS Utah, two other ships that were basically damaged. And I can't remember exactly which one. The other one that sunk too as well. Was it Utah? Anyways. So we went on this tour. It was awesome. We had these guys explain, a few things, and then we watched this video. It's about 20 something minutes long about the war, why it happened, how it happened, everything like that. That was pretty cool. And from there, we went out on the water in a little barge. I don't want to call it a barge. It's not really a barge. You call it a boat. That's, I don't know, definitions, whatever. Anyway, so we go out, and the guides, they talk about the various ships, Nevada, Utah. Then we finally get to the Missouri. And by the way, I am a photographer, so I'm taking pictures like the whole time here. So um, I am going to post those photos up at some point in the future. Let me see. So it gave me the opportunity to improve my photography, especially being on a moving vehicle. So keep an eye out on my blog. I do have the link on there, on here. So keep an eye out for future blogs to come out. I know I'm kind of slow with that, especially when it comes to blogs. I have to write it up, I gotta process the photos. Anyway, so I'm taking pictures the whole time. We get to the Arizona Memorial, and this is like probably the coolest part because it's, I don't know if you've ever seen it before. It's this, well, it's essentially a building, but the whole thing is a memorial for the USS Arizona, right? It's sitting in the middle of the water over the Arizona. So the Arizona sunk. And it's pretty much stayed there because it's pretty much a burial ground for anyone that died that day. And it was almost like, well, it's the coolest thing because it's like, well, one, it's my first time being there, and then seeing all this stuff, basically history itself. It's still leaking oil to this day, which is crazy. I mean, you watch the videos. I mean, this thing is huge. I mean, we're talking like huge. Like, if you picture the ships today, this thing was like I wouldn't say it's like a carrier, but it's big. And the whole thing is like underwater. It's just like, it's crazy. So we saw that, and then at the end of this thing, they have all the names of people that died, and then I think there's also a list of people that, like survivors, that eventually died, like even a few years ago. It's amazing. Like the whole thing was like, I would highly suggest you go if you're here. Of course, you have to take the tourist route, and that's busy. If you can get a private tour, I'm not even sure how to do that. If you can get that, go for it. That's the best way. And there was no tourists or nothing. It was just us who were dressed either in our whites or our service uniform. I was dressed in my service uniform. Everything was cool, man. I'm telling you. And aside from that, our second event for the week, I think our last, we might go see the Missouri. I mean, I've been there before, but I haven't been on a tour. So I'm still considering going on that tour. Anyways, I'm kind of sweaty. Sorry about that. I haven't forgotten about you, Mr. Cool. I'm deep in the story here. Our next event is a Mongolian barbecue. We have it at the Officers Club on Hickam Air Force Base. Awesome food, by the way. This has got to be the second time I was there. But the last time I was there, I believe I was there, unless I'm thinking about somewhere else. Anyways, food was amazing. At first, I was like, okay, am I making a salad here? Because this is long line, and I figured out, oh, it's for stir fry. Because at the end of the line, you have all the meats you can pick, the chicken, the beef, pork. And then you have these guys in the middle, they're just like cooking your food like right on this big giant, I don't know, platters, you can call them that. Anyway, feels great. I have pictures of those as well. A lot more pictures. I've been taking pictures the whole week. So somebody's blowing me up. Stay tuned for that. Like I said, outside of the activities, I haven't really talked about my job, right? I haven't talked about what I'm doing for the Navy, right? As an electrician's mate, I'm part of an electrician's shop. I'm just keeping it in simple terms for you. It's easy for everybody. So, in this shop, I'm helping these guys, part of the shipyard workers. I'm helping them basically fulfill these orders. Orders that the surface fleet needs, right? So if you're in the fleet, like I was active once, right? You don't really think about this stuff. You don't think, hey, where's all this stuff coming from? You know, where all these like different tools, supplies, equipment come from? And yeah, I mean, you know, they come from somewhere. Somebody makes them, right? That's what I'm doing right now. I actually get to make some of this stuff. As you can see, I'm not really talking about it because some of the stuff is confidential as well as classified. So I can't talk about a lot of stuff that I do and have done. So I'm going to put that out there. But regardless, it's pretty rad. I mean, this you don't think about this stuff like, hey man, this is like, you think like a machine makes everything. No, they don't. A lot of things are handcrafted from scratch. Well, not from scratch. I had to take that back. But a lot of things are handcrafted to form other items that are necessary for the military to function. To keep that in mind, a lot of this stuff isn't like manufactured in a factory somewhere unless it's a car or a vehicle or something, right? So I have the opportunity to make some of this stuff. Of course, I had a handicap basically being, I don't know what the Hades, you know, what I was doing, you know. But the guys that I'm working with, they're pretty cool, and they pretty much told me, hey, this is how this works. This is what you're doing. You know, we had to test and recertify some things, and then get it working. I mean, and that's the most. I think that's the most coolest aspect about the annual training. Besides, you know, the dinner and the cookouts and the tour. Yeah, I actually get to learn something, and if you ever have the opportunity to do an AT, I recommend. Well, you pretty much have to, but if you can do more, if you're able to do more, and you think it's cool, not just the fact that you're helping out the military, but the fact that, hey man, this is pretty cool. I think that's even more power to you if you enjoy what you're doing, because I tell you what. Honestly, I am more fulfilled doing this because I'm like, well, I can learn new things. That's not a problem. And then I'm fulfilled because I'm helping somebody out now. I'm not just helping myself. I mean, yeah, I'm here for 2 weeks. I get paid, but I'm helping people, you know, while I'm here, putting together these parts, pieces, or whatever, these components to make something work for somebody else. I think that's pretty sweet. And then, of course, the learning aspect. I love learning new things, and I guess I'm just bored from my old job, you know. I want to do something better. And not to say I would like to do this permanently, but it is a cool break. It's a cool, and I guess you can say it's one of the reasons why I've kept it around for so long. Get to do, you have the opportunity to do a lot of things, and I am coming down to the opportunities portion, so I'm getting close to being done. But I have one more week left, and we got a little bit busier the last couple of days, and that's because the orders come in, right? So basically, we're helping out these subs. Much of our work is to help the submarine force, basically. I'm not sure exactly who does work for the surface fleet, but I can't imagine it will be all that different, to be honest. And maybe that's just because it's the Navy Reserve unit here in Pearl Harbor that predominantly works with the subs. Not sure. Anyways, I have one more week of that, and I'm not really looking forward to going back to my job at the moment, but I do appreciate it though. I do appreciate that it's something that's there, and I'm not putting it down totally. I needed a break, and this is the break that I needed. Not necessarily the greatest break, but because it's not vacation, right? It's not like I can just keep it out of my head totally. But that's coming next month, my vacation, by the way. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. Aside from all that, opportunities to do new things, for me personally, because I'm from here, a lot of people actually have to fly here from other places to do their AT. And so that gives me the opportunity to be the local advisor. You're probably thinking TripAdvisor and local guys, I just stuck the words together. You're very right. You're correct. I stuck the two words together to make my own. Local advisor. So I get to play local advisor / tour guide in a way. I'm not driving people around, but I'm telling people, hey, this is a good place you can go. This is a good hike. This is a good place you can eat. Stuff like that. So it gives me the opportunity to the network as well, or anybody. If you want to do an AT, you meet new people, network, make new friends, meet new acquaintances. Next thing you know somebody that's in a different state. And let's say, for example, you need to go to that state for some reason. Maybe you're having an AT over there. Maybe you're going to move over there. Now you have a connection. See? Opportunities. So I get to do all this stuff, meet new people. And that's the best aspect about it. Well, one of the best, besides learning, is meeting new people, forming those connections. And then after the AT is over, you still know these people, and then you can still move on, Of course, like anybody else, if they're not married or anything, there's always that opportunity. But in this case, that's not the case. I'm probably the only single person that I know of. There's two women have boyfriends. They're not married, but per se, but they have boyfriends. And then that's the thing about the reserves. It's kind of like hit or miss, because reserves is more like an older crowd. You get to a point, you're not dealing with they're 18 or anymore. It's like, hey, they probably have a family. Which I'm gonna get to. I'm gonna create a video about kind of like give you more a thorough background on my Navy career. As I stated before, I was going to do this a while ago and never got around to it, so consider this the very first time that I'm actually presenting this to you. So, and yeah, that's the thing. If for me, example, it's easy for me to do these different events. One lieutenant commander, he was like, yeah, I made this event a few times, and you're the only local person that came out. I'm like, well, I got nothing else better to do. I can sit home, watch TV. I can do that any day of the week. If I get out at 3 o'clock and have the time, I'm coming, and especially if it's food. And I get to meet new people. Like I said, I get to sit home. Hey, man, I understand. A lot of people have families, they have kids, they don't want to come out. They don't want to invite everybody out and pay all this money because they're not getting per diem. I'm not getting per diem. But I got a little stashed away, a little paid extra, Memorial Day, wink, wink, overtime coming in. So that helps me out. I can splurge a little bit. It doesn't hurt to splurge every now and then. I'm quite frugal, to be honest. Quite frugal. So in a way, I kind of prepared for this. I had no idea, and most times I don't really know exactly what's going to happen, especially in this case. This is the first time at this shop. I had no idea I was going to be doing what I was going to be doing. So there's a certain level of uncertainty if you're straight new. I mean, yeah, especially if you're new. Especially if you just came out from boot camp, you're doing the annual training for the first time. It's like, hey, what am I doing? Am I going to be in charge of people? Are the people going to be in charge of me? Am I going to be digging a hole? I mean, hope not. That'd be a pretty lame AT. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, it's, for the most part, it's been a great experience. Both the Navy and the Navy Reserve. It's been an awesome experience. Just doing the many things that you would never imagine doing ever in your life. And that's predominantly the reason why I left to join the Navy in the first place. Was I want to get out. I want to travel. I want to learn new things. I want to go places. When I got my first rate, the first thing I thought of, San Diego. I want to go to San Diego. So guess what? I became a sonar tech. Not because it really interested me. I mean, I had very little interest in doing it, of course. But I wanted to go to San Diego, and then the interest is second. I learned that. Went to San Diego. Next thing you know, I'm in Hawaii. That goes to show you that if you start moving forward, you will never know where you will end up. You just never know. Unless, of course, you plan it. But then again, plans always change. I mean, I'm in Hawaii, of all places. People ask me, are you lucky? I'm not lucky. This isn't something that just happened overnight. It's not something that, oh, wow, Hawaii. No, I worked for it. I had to go to A school. I had to go to A school to even get a choice to go to Hawaii. And in fact, you consider as luck if you like, because if you make high grades in the class, you get first pick, right? While I was like the top 5 for like the longest time, my grades slipped a little bit, and so I was like the top half. I was still top half, still good, but not good enough, so I didn't get Hawaii my first pick. But this is how it happened. So there was a female in my class. She got first pick Hawaii. She chose it, but there were no female billets. What a billet is basically is a job, and billets, not a job, but a specific billet's like specific role. So basically, there's billets that they're only for males, and there's billets for females. There's billets for this job. There's billets for that job, or this pay grade or rank. So there weren't any female billets available for Hawaii, so she did not get to go. It ended up going to me because I was next in line. Yay! So in a sense, you can say, "Oh, you're lucky." I'm still not lucky. I worked for it. Good chance, right? Luck is chance, basically. There's no such thing as luck. You create your own. You start for it. You never know. You never know. There's a couple of segments I like to actually bring up. I want your feedback on this, because I know before I said it, I was going to start talking about local establishments, restaurants, or whatever, as a local advisor. I haven't really done that yet, unfortunately. Striving to come up with something that's going to last maybe about 5-10 minutes tops. I think that's a perfect time frame. I think that's perfect. When I'm talking about a restaurant or whatever, 5-10 minutes is good. 5 minutes is probably even better. Anyways, so that's one segment I'd like for you to stay tuned for. I know I still got my roommates thing I gotta do. I found a roommate, by the way, so that's coming. Don't worry, that's gonna be a regular. It's not gonna be live. It's gonna be regular, informative video about finding roommates. Very important, by the way. I've had the good, I've had the bad. So far, I'm 2 for 3. I'm 2 for 3 good. And then there's a second segment I'd like to talk about being single. That's gonna be something I've never done before. I've never really talked about dating. Well, I did one segment, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm single. It was more like, oh, this is, tips. But I want to start a single life segment, kind of like single versus not single, but more focusing on being single because I am single, and I can do that now. I can do that now. I I don't have anybody, like that, so that makes me single. So that's another project in the works. I want you to stay tuned for. I think that's pretty much it. And again, I refer to it as the Navy, the AT, the annual training. I refer to it as summer camp because for 2 weeks I get to go away. I get to make things, build things, meet new people, and in a way, it's kind of fun because it's fulfilling. That's all I really ask for in life, is to be fulfilled. Not to say I want to do this permanently because it is hard work. It's not easy. And not to say that all hard work is hard. It's just mostly a matter of perception. Well, some of it is a matter of perception, some of it is actually real. Let's put it that way. Because, I don't normally work with my hands unless I'm being creative, like taking photos or processing photos, something like that. So I get to work with my hands, build stuff, test stuff, certify stuff, and it's awesome. And I invite anybody that's interested. And I'm not. This isn't some kind of recruitment video at all. I'm just purely stating the facts that if you want to do something that's, most people don't do in their lifetime, join the military, join a reserve unit, something, or even just travel. You can do that yourself. You don't need military to travel, but if you don't have the money, the funds, then that's one way you can do it. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's see. I know this is live, so I'm not gonna wrap up just yet, but I am pretty close. So what we got here, Mr. Cool? I'm gonna read. So first of all, how's everything? If you have any feedback or anything like that, please leave it in the comment section or the live chat. But after this closes down, live chat will no longer be available. Okay. Just want to let you know. So comment section would be the ideal. And you will be able to do that after this gets posted. It takes a little time. After I close the video, it'll process. It's about 40 something minutes, so it'll take maybe 15, 20 minutes tops to process. Then you can leave it. Well, if you're going to watch it. If you're going to tell me something, tell me now. I can see it. That's basically what I'm saying. But if you want to wait, you can wait. Just wait for the process and then put in the comment section. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Dating versus not dating. Count me crossover on that topic. You got it, Mr. Cool. I will definitely do that. I would love, actually, on a topic like that, I would definitely love to do a crossover, bring somebody in. And like I said, this isn't something I want to do alone necessarily. But if I can get people to come in, join in, that would freaking gnarly. That's all I'm saying. So that's a great idea. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I think maybe I'm going to do like an intro video first. And then just kind of talk about just various things. And maybe bring up a topic. And go from there. But yeah, I will definitely keep you in the loop on that. We should definitely talk offline. And we can do a crossover on that. A collab. Some people call it. Collaborations. Two friends, trials, friendships go through life, and how as friends others leave. This happens. Somebody said a phrase. I don't know the exact quote. I'm paraphrasing here, but when it comes to friendship, it's like you meet people. Whether you believe in God or not, it happened. Now, if you leave, that's on you. That's totally paraphrased, by the way. That's totally me. So Mr. Cool's I have an outline and currently the first few chapters. I think I already read that, but nice, well done. My friend wants to write another with the same characters. However, he basically wants them in some kind of different universe. Okay, interesting. Okay, I dig. Well, I appreciate that you're here. I appreciate you joining the show and everything. I think I've gotten a good knack of the life, and I'm pretty much sticking to one video a week for now. I have considered releasing 2 videos per week if I have, and right now I have more than enough content right now. It's just the time. Right now I have the time. Like I said, I get out at 3 o'clock doing my AT, so I have the time unless I'm tired, because I do wake up early. That's the other element, is having the time to do the videos, because it gets to a point where it's just like, I don't feel like doing anything because I'm tired. And that sucks. I don't like that feeling. I hate that feeling. It's like I'm a zombie. I'm like, uh, uh, video games, nah. Too tired. Go out, people. Go out. Socialize. Too tired. That sucks. It sucks. Okay? It's not how anybody should live their lives. I'm serious. Straight up. That's why it's already a done deal. It's just a matter of time. A major change is coming. 555. Okay? If you know what that means, look it up. Major change is imminent. It's coming because I desire it and I will make it happen. Not because it's just going to happen. Although things can't happen if there's no action. No action is the same as taking an action, right? Sometimes change happens, and as a result, you have to change. But yes, Mr. Cool, I would definitely love doing a crossover about dating or not dating. Actually, it's interesting because we had this chat at the shop. Not necessarily today, but we're talking with this guy, one of the guys I work with. We're talking about this chick. Well, okay. Scratch that last part, by the way. So we're talking about his old girlfriend. And then he's single again. Basically, if I remember the story correctly, he broke up with her first. Then something happened. I won't say any details. Something happened. He winds up trying to get back with her. I don't know exactly what happened at that point, but they're not together anymore, because then I think he figured out I don't really need her kind of thing. She's it's no go. Some people are like that. You have a moment of weakness, and then you go back to them. You go back to that person that you left. Well, you gotta think to yourself, and you can consider this a prologue, prologue to what's coming. You can think that. You can think to yourself, well, why did you leave that person in the first place? Why was that a mistake? I mean, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to change something, right? Like, you've been with this person for whatever, let's say 5 months. What changed? What happened to make that decision that, I've been 5 months now, I can't do it no more. We can't do this anymore. What is that? Think about what that was. And then whenever you have the thought process of going back to that person, think about that. And you can write it down if you like. Because trust me, if you don't write things down such as that, that's why I keep a journal. Keep a blog, keep a journal. A journal more so like if you want to keep it personal and off the internet. You don't want everybody knowing all your business, obviously. But if you forget, and because we do a lot of things, we get tired, next thing you know, I forgot. What was the reason I left her in the first place? Oh, it wasn't that bad, was it? You have a moment of weakness, like, oh, maybe she's cooler than I thought. Maybe it's just me. No. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it is, but if you make the decision to leave, like the guy did, he left. He left her, not the other way around. He left her. And even if it does happen the other way around, you gotta think for a second, well, what happened? Why did this come to be? Why has this happened? Anyways, I'm done. I'm off. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, as always, to the Opti-Mystic M with your host, me, M. Michaud. So every time you hear M's, profile, that's Michaud or Mystic. Some people call it Mystic because I optimistic. So it's more of a play on words. So anyways, I want to thank everyone for coming. It's, as always, it's real. Stay tuned in my next segments, next episodes coming out. And of course, I will let you know when that happens. If you like what you see in here, please like and subscribe. Comment if you have any feedback, suggestions, or anything like that. And definitely share and like if you think somebody else will benefit from this. Because this segment is not meant to be just a vlog, but it's also meant to be some sort of learning experience. So I give my learning experience and to anybody that listens, and perhaps they can learn something as well and pass it on to the next person. That's pretty much my goal in this. I think that's it. Mr. Cool, thank you for coming. Mr. Cool is one of my good friends from the Raw universe, or Insta Radio universe. By the way, if you are wanting to direct message me, you can do so on Twitter, or if you have my Facebook, you have that, get my Messenger. I am not giving my WhatsApp or anything like that on here. However, you can add me on Snapchat, because my Snapchat is there, or Twitter, like I said. And check out Instagram. My Instagram, I usually put my mobile pocket life photos on there. And then sometimes I do Periscope. I haven't done it lately, though. And stay tuned for my video gaming on Twitch at Mystic Mind Play. So stay tuned for all that. Yeah, stay tuned, because it's sometimes it's random. It happens. I may not play any video games tonight. It is getting a little late. But then again, I don't have to work tomorrow. Oh yeah, before I go, I want to give you a fortune that I got. I Snapchat this for all my Snapchat friends and family followers out there, the 3Fs. So I found this as part of a fortune cookie. I thought it was very, very relevant for me, because sometimes I like to please people. Before trying to please others, think about what makes you happy. Okay? Remember that. And I'm going to end with that. Stay tuned, and it will become pre-recorded shortly after this ends. And you're more than welcome to comment and leave any suggestions or anything like that in the comment section below. I want to thank everyone, as always, for coming from wherever you are on this planet we call Earth. Thanks for coming to the Opti-Mystic M. I'm your host, Michaud, and I will see you next time. Cheers.